Hey, Mom? Have you seen our old Christmas VHSs? Oh, never mind. Never mind, I found them. Sweet. It's for kids. Oh. Yo, I haven't seen this in ages. So freaking sweet. Is it still in the... Oh. Still in the thing. Oh, sweet! Huh, even cooler than I remember. Sweet! How's it going?
Oh, hey Ben, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Goat on a stick? It's been years since I've seen this. It's so ill.
I don't blame you, man. I mean, I've seen it so many times. It's kind of,
Yeah, it's kind of
best to leave it in there. But hey, I'm here. So how's it going?
Yeah, it's going. You know what? It's going well, man. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, first of all.
Merry Christmas.
It's good to have you on the show. Good to have you on. No Stare Bearer.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. I wanted to ask you some questions about how you make your magical channel what it is, I've been watching it. I watched it all last night. I binged all of it, which if you're watching this...
Oh, that's great.
Yes, it's Goat on a Stick, YouTube. He does this great animation style that was, I think, I guess it was started by Joel Haver, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the community collectively calls it Joel Haver style.
Yeah, the Joel Haver style. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really good. You took it and you did some great stuff with it. You've built a channel within, I think, 7 months?
Since April, so yeah, about 7 months or so.
Yeah, your first video, NPCs from a speedrunner's perspective,
The first one would be
oh, that's it. I know another one.
Quest and RPGs don't allow you to save everyone.
Yeah, right. When they don't, there's the old man who locks him into the dialogue window.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. It's good stuff. When did you just decide to create the channel? What inspired you? What was there a day where you're just like, oh fuck, I can do that. I want to see if that catches on for me.
Oh yeah. Well, like a lot of people, I haven't heard of Joel since or until I saw his RPG series.
Right.
I think I saw a few videos of his before, but I just didn't know who he was. I think I saw the Lion King one.
Yes.
With his dad.
Mm-hmm. That's a great one. Oh
great.
my god, that was hilarious.
But I didn't know him. But then I saw the RPG series, the first one, and I was like, wow, this is something else. I watched it a few times in a row because there was two main things that really caught on to me for that. The first thing was just the concept of what if real life and video games kind of intermingled. He kind of put that prospect into it, and I thought that was really interesting. And then of course the whole Ebsynth factor about it, which I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, what is this? I wish I knew how he did this. And then a few episodes later, he puts out the video, here's how I animated this video,
which is so
and
cool.
I was like, yeah, it's so cool that he even did that. And it was like, I could do this. And just like I see a meme online, and I'm like, oh, I'll do my take on this. I'll take the title out and I'll edit this in Photoshop. I felt like I was just kind of like, well, here's my take on the whole, Ebsynth thing with the, on a video game.
Right.
Let me.
Well, so
can I take care of my cat real fast?
Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna take.
I think he wants out.
Let your cat out.
Yeah, come here, kitty.
Your animated.
He's just gonna be
cat?
squeaking the whole time. My animated cat, yes.
That's cool, man. So explain what this term you're using. I'm assuming it's the technology that helps make the animations happen the way they turn out. What were you saying? Ebsynth. What?
Ebsynth. It's EB and then synth. SYNTH. And
okay.
I think the creators themselves call it Ebsynth.
Okay.
but like it's Ebsynth. It's a lowercase b, so it's Ebsynth, and
Okay.
ebb makes so much more sense when you think about how like the animation ebbs and flows.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
call it Ebsynth.
I
It
like
just
that.
rolls off the mouth better.
Yeah, I hear you.
So what you do, you take live action footage, and there's some nitpicky things like you should have this much contrast and the lighting should be even and stuff.
Yeah.
But generally, you take live action footage, and then you use a keyframe, which is whatever you want. You take a random frame from the footage and you draw on it, you paint over it, you render it, whatever, and then it takes the motion from the scene and it uses it to animate that keyframe. It's really fun.
I love it. It looks so cool, and you add this like there's this other layer to it as well that has this kind of, I think he explains in the video. It's like this kind of like a VHS effect or something. Like there's something else. There's like this like the brilliance, kind of this illumination effect that goes over it, like overlay. Is that something? Do you use that as well? Is that kind of part of it?
Yeah, I don't know the exact stuff he uses, but I know Red Giant VHS is one of them.
Okay.
And that's a really good one. It kind of adds like a blur to it.
Yeah, I've
like
used
some
it
noise,
before. It's a good one.
like, yeah, shifts the colors a little bit, if you want it, and it gives like a little tape feel.
Yeah, that's great, dude. What you've done with it is awesome. So you've made a full channel that now you're at
Thanks.
what 117,000 subs as of today.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So that must have happened. That must have happened pretty. Like, how quickly did you start to realize, oh, this is gonna work?
Well, I started making videos in April,
Yeah.
and then I think it was about August. I think beginning of August, I had quit my job because I decided to just work on this full time.
So what was your job before this? Like,
sometime-
you must have some sort of animation or illustration or at least writing experience before diving into this.
No.
No? What was your job?
No. I was a file clerk at a law firm.
Oh, get
I was
out.
shuffling files and
Oh my
doing
God.
Excel spreadsheets and
Oh, so that
printing
must have been
PDFs.
such a satisfying quit, eh?
It was. And like I don't have zero experience, but like it was so casual. Like I helped my aunt with her podcast,
Yeah. Okay.
and like really low quality, like 80 kilobytes per second audio. So I'm not like a professional engineer I'm just like cutting the audio, you know. And then my experience with like video editors is roughly the same, just like cutting clips and slapping them together.
Right.
And my Photoshop is like literally making memes here and there.
Really?
So
So you no
when I
illustration
started-
experience?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
I,
get
I
out.
I don't think. I think the last time I actually drew for fun was like when I was drawing in my history book in like 4th grade or something
Oh my
like that.
God,
just
what?
doodling stick figures. Well, that's the thing. And I'll get back to that. But yeah, I don't really have much experience. So when I was doing this, every step along the way, I'd be like, what do I do here? And there's a YouTube video for it or a web page or something. So
Right.
I mean, thankfully, there's online. I can just look up all these problems I'm having. Like, okay, how do you do this in Premiere?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it really stretches out the process. But I mean, at the other time, I'm learning and I'm being able to do these things that in the past you'd have to go to school for it. You'd have to read all these books.
Oh yeah.
But I can just load up a video and in 5 minutes I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
That's how I do
that
it.
now.
Yeah. That's kind of how I
Yeah,
learned a
it's
lot of my
great.
editing as well. Was Google, just sitting in one room trying to work on one project for like a whole summer one year and just Googling and just going, fuck, what is that? Like every day Googling like 20 times. And
Yeah.
then that's, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's really cool.
I hear coders say that, programmers say that that's like a lot of their job too, and I'm like, okay, I could see that.
Yeah. So,
But yeah.
so no experience as a writer, no experience as a stand-up or anything. Cause I've thought a lot of your comedic timing is really good. Like there's some really big laughs in
thank
your
you.
stuff. It just, I guess, comes to you naturally.
I guess to address the drawing, I don't have any drawing or art experience really, but I mean a lot of it is tracing. Like I just trace the outline of the body,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of about what do you trace, When I first started, I was just like, I saw Joel's video and I saw he actually shows what he's tracing, I'm like, okay, these are the parts of the body you should trace because they're significant.
Yeah, mouth.
And then the
What
further I
mouth,
started
head,
doing this,
arms and stuff like that.
right,
Yeah. Okay.
right, right,
Mm-hmm.
and my videos look like really close to his. But like the more I found out, okay, so like these are the things I like to trace, and these are the things that I don't like. And so I'm starting to realize, there's a bit more freedom. I can trace the outline and yet still have a bit of,
Yeah.
style
Yeah.
that I bring to it.
Okay. Cool. Right. Right. See,
But yeah, like actually drawing something, no, it's
that's crazy.
anything
That's
that
so
looks like
wild.
I drew it. I probably just like put like a PNG layer on top of it and then trace
Sure.
that on
Right.
top of, which is a cheat, but I mean it works, and with Ebsynth you can get away with a lot of stuff like that.
Amazing. So
And
what's your so okay, so I saw your most recent video, or not most recent, but I think it's the third most recent, where you're talking about how people like are comparing you to Joel, and how it's like this, even his comedic sensibilities, and you're kind of addressing some of that stuff. Has that been like something you've had to face a lot in the comments? Is people going like, "Oh, you're just stealing." Sounds like you're saying a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, you're just stealing Joel's style," and is that something that's pretty common, or did you just kind of see a few comments here and there?
I see it here and there,
Yeah.
but when I first started, I think the second video, the speedrunners video,
Yeah.
that was like one of the only videos that got traction on Reddit, because everything else has just been like, single digit karma. But
Oh, Get
that
Out,
one,
really?
like,
Wow. So that was the one that
yeah,
blew up
that
the
one actually
channel?
did really good. Um, I mean, I guess you could say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know it was successful in Reddit, but yeah, I guess it did help a lot with the channel, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But
Like, what would you say was the view
but
count for the ones before that, before you posted that one? Were you looking at, like, was it immediately showing you like, oh, this is gonna work for me right off the bat, or was it a few weeks of trying and then eventually, or was it just like a one, like,
yeah,
right away?
it was a while till after that, but like it was definitely a big jump where I was like, okay, that was a lot of views and subscribers
Mm-hmm.
for just a video. So that's when I was starting to think, hey, this is actually pretty good. I'm getting more views on this one video than all my other, random stuff I did over the years
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
together.
Good. And what other
But
random
to get
stuff
back to
have
the
you done?
Reddit thing,
Oh yeah, go for it. Yep.
it was like the only video that got traction on Reddit. So I got, a lot of comments to go through, and like a whole lot of them were like, gatekeeping, like, oh, you can't do this style, and like, oh, I didn't hear you credit Joel, in the title, or, and like a whole lot of, you can't just, take this, like I think one of my favorite ones was like he made a video to show people how to do it. He didn't actually want people to do it. It's like, yeah, he wanted people to do it. That's why he made a video, to show people how to do it. And like they don't understand, where this guy is coming from, his views on art,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
I
like
think so
art
too.
shouldn't be held by anyone. It should be free to do, and like,
Mm-hmm.
if you like these videos, you should be happy someone else is making them. Like, I'm making them because it's fun to make them, and the whole reason I started was like I wanted to show my friends something funny, and if someone else enjoyed it, then that's a plus,
That's how all the best stuff
So
starts. That's how South Park started. That's how I think.
yeah, like I didn't want to make a channel, my job. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna make some funny videos because this dude showed me how to make funny videos.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
great. That's great.
it started getting views, so I'm like, hey man, I'd rather
Might
do
as
this
well.
than,
Stumbled
my
into it.
job.
That's
So
great. Oh my gosh. That's
yeah. So what were you asking? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
no, that's fine. Um, do you so making the actual animations, do you enjoy doing it, or is the process like grueling? Like, is there any part of that process that you're just like, ugh, like you're not looking forward to it? Does it feel like work?
It can and it can't.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, I just struggle with motivation. Like, I should really shoot this video, but I'll do it later.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh
just
yeah,
normal.
totally normal.
Pushing
That's
things
me all
off.
the time.
But like drawing keyframes.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I'll just be spending days and days in a row just drawing keyframes. And sometimes that can get like a bit monotonous. But I just play some music. I just kind of tune out. And I just try to hack away at it. That's probably the most boring part, is just drawing the keyframes over and over.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my favorite part is when you get everything drawn and you're putting it all together, and you get to toy with the timing and stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, getting to what you said about timing, like I try really hard for that, because like I'll put two clips together, and then I'll play them. You know, I'll play the transition, and then I'll play it again, and then I'll just shorten one a little. I'll play it again. I'll keep like playing it again and again and again until I feel like it's getting that you know, that timing. Like
It's feeling right. Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It like feels to me like, okay, that's the kind of beat that I'm looking for.
Yes, exactly.
And so, yeah, it's just intuitive.
Well,
I guess
that's
just
good. I
watching
mean, that's
comedy all through the years.
yeah, that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
That's pretty like, dude, like I was watching the my favorite as I mean, I watched them all just right in a row last night, like literally every single one of them. So
Yeah.
they all kind of blend together, but I think my favorite is the medics, or what is it? Medics in first person shooters.
Medics and FPS games.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just like how he slowly just starts just rubbing the defibrillators together, and he's like, what are you about to do with those?
Yeah.
And then that one beat
yeah.
where the guy pops up and goes, took you long enough. I was like, that just was the perfect thing for him to say. Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
It's good stuff.
I was trying to think something that like completely normal in a video game that like that's just bizarre in real life, which is, like I said, what I love about making these videos is trying to apply video game logic to life, applying life logic to video games. And like in a video game, you're a guy who like raises the dead with a click of a button, you know?
Yeah.
You're going through the battlefield, just clicking on corpses, poof,
Yeah.
stands back up, poof, stands back up. And then, you know, every now and then you'll get a guy, there you go, back to life, brought you back from the dead. And he'll be like, God, man, I've been waiting here forever. Jeez, you know?
yeah.
It's like, I just brought you back to I gave you life, and you're giving me this, you know?
No,
Like,
it's true. That's so funny. There's something
yeah,
so
yeah. So, like, if a doctor was doing it in
Yeah.
real life, can you just imagine some guy was like, oh, I've been a corpse for a while, doctor. You know, that isn't very comfortable, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't, and then just like the obvious like animation, just like the repeated animation of just like the guy doing the rubbing together, and just like
Oh,
as
yeah,
if
yeah.
you're like holding a square or something, and he's just
Yeah, I actually used dish cleaners, the brushes you use to clean dishes. That's what those are.
Okay, right. So you physically, if you use something in a scene, it helps obviously the keyframing to
Yeah.
actually have something that's shaped that way, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, exactly.
I didn't even really realize that.
Absinthe tracks motion, so like it tracks, the inside of the outline of an object.
Sure.
So to have something the shape of an object, like if I drew a top hat on my head right now,
Mm-hmm.
and then if I moved around, then whatever top hat was actually over my face would move with me, because it'd use the motion from my face.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah.
The part of the hat outside my head, there's no motion for Ebsynth to associate with it, so it'd stick behind me like it was a poster board behind me.
I hear ya.
So you need a general outline, and it helps to have a general shape to help Ebsynth grab onto it. So like I use cardboard a lot. Like if I have like a gun,
Yeah.
like I'll just draw the outline of a gun, like the Tommy guns I had. It was just a drawing of a Tommy gun on cardboard.
Okay. Gotcha. Right.
But it just needs that outline, and
So
as long
but
as I don't
physic-
twist it, you don't.
Yeah, but it physically kind
you
of
don't
needs
see
to
that it's
be
completely flat.
in the like on the green screen footage. You need to physically have it. Like you can't just like hold your hands in that position and stick like a PNG of like, or not a PNG, but like stick the actual drawn animation of the gun onto your hand keyframe.
Well, yeah. You see, I could just animate something like a PNG in Premiere and put motion with it and stuff, but it wouldn't track as well as if I had, an Ebsynth, and it wouldn't have the Ebsynth animation-y, effect.
Vibe. Oh,
to
okay,
it.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. That's very cool. Speaking of,
Yeah.
so speaking of which, like, are you a gamer? Like, is this something that you?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
because the writing
many video
seems like okay, the writing seems very intrinsically like you very much understand the world of gaming and the tropes associated with.
Yeah, I love
the
gaming, man.
world.
It's been something in my childhood since I was like, 5 or 6, and playing on the Atari.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, and I went to the NES, the Genesis, the SNES, Sega CD,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the PlayStation, the Dreamcast, and PS2, just
got
like
it
all
all.
the big. And I've been a PC gamer for just as long. And like I just love like games are like the ultimate form of art in my opinion, because you have video, you have music, you have, dialogue, story, art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all these different medias in one media, and on top of it, it's interactive.
Right.
So it's just like this huge, like one of the, one of the, I want to say one of the peak forms of art, but I'm sure people will disagree. But to me, like games are like just, an embodiment of, I'm not saying they replace books or films and
Right.
stuff. It's just my preferred form of media
Yeah.
because it's so all encompassing.
Yeah, I hear you. I
And
mean, even the art style of video games. I mean, anybody who's, I guess, in their late 20s at least has grown up since the beginning of like 3D, at
mm-hmm.
least 3D or more sophisticated, like cutscene level, like gaming. I only say cutscene level because I'm thinking about this new show, Arcane. And I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you know this show on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No.
So it has like you gotta watch it, dude, because it's like it takes the art style of like video game cutscenes of like,
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there's another term for it, or I'm sure it's been applied elsewhere, but to me it looks like I'm watching a 40, like, it's episodic, so like a 45-minute episode of a cutscene that's got like 10,000 times the budget because there's no actual gaming part, and so they can allot more
Huh.
budget to the actual just like narrative of it. And it's a whole show that looks like that, and it's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like taking it to this next
Really?
level. It's so cool. You got to watch it. My
I'll have to
little
check it
brother
out.
works
Yeah.
for Ubisoft, and he's a huge gamer, and he was like, dude, this is like, I would never play really video games. I would watch my brothers do it, and I would
Yeah.
watch my little brother like, so through the years I've watched like, the Kingdom Hearts cutscenes where that was like the pinnacle. If you remember when Kingdom Hearts came out, that was like oh, this is like real, like this looks like real skin. And just like
Yeah.
watching that develop. Resident Evil was also a good one for graphics, and now just like watching it, a full show that I'm like, that I like just want to keep watching. But it's like a
Oh yeah.
video game. It's so cool. Anyway,
Oh yeah. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Cutscenes are funny because like I remember back in the day, like PlayStation era, stuff
yeah,
like that. Like they'd have a cutscene, and it was like, oh, these graphics are way better than the game I'm playing.
yeah,
And like they're still
exactly,
like really rudimentary, like 3D stuff, super
exactly,
chunky.
yeah,
And then like, now we're like the end game is like better than the best, cutscenes, like 20 years ago and
exactly.
stuff.
That's what I'm
It's
talking
crazy
about.
how much. Yeah.
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 So to recap, like you get into YouTube back in April. You're kind of just doing it for
Yeah.
fun, no expectations. You're
Hmm.
following Joel's how-to video, and
Right.
as your channel starts to grow, you start, I'm sure, becoming aware of this kind of community of creators that I think Joel is at least kind of the head of, with his following and with his generosity to like share their stuff. And that would be like Trent Lankarski, Alex Martins, yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, who else is there? Matthew
Matthew McCluskey
McCluskey.
is a
Yeah,
big one.
Matthew McCluskey for sure.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone, but it just feels like there's this new wave of creators coming out, kind of on the tail end of Joel's videos and his, people he interacts with and people he associates with. What does that feel like? Is that nice to be part of this community?
Yeah.
That's kind of, is that like, what are your views on that? It feels like a bonus to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. I mean, that's kind of how I saw, these other people doing it. Once I started seeing Matthew McCluskey's channel, I'm
Hmm.
like, hey, other people are doing this? Like, what? You know? And and I got in contact with him eventually, and we've worked on a few stuff together,
Hmm.
and I've learned a lot from stuff about him, and hopefully he's learned some stuff about me. And but yeah, so I try to stay active on the Ebsynth subreddit.
Oh, cool. There's a subreddit.
I watch.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a subreddit. It's small though. The community in general is small. Like I try to watch every Ebsynth video I see pop up on my feed, and I'm just so interested in the style, and where people are taking it. It's just such a cool technology. So
Yeah.
like, there, generally, I talk to them on like Matthew's Discord or Joel's Discord, and like there's an actual channel for the Ebsynthers.
Yeah.
And we kind of chat in there, and it's just a tiny community, but it's great. It's a really good community, and it's close knit, and we try to help each other a lot, and it's very welcoming to other people, and it's a very hard process, and it's very time consuming. So, you kind of need that help and that that push,
that
and
push.
Where to go, and so it's cool to see these guys interested in it as well, and I'm really excited for where people are taking it and where it's going, and I'd love to see it explode even more.
Yeah, same.
It's great. Joel started a whole new style of art, and yeah, it's just a great thing to see people pick it up. Yeah. Oh, tracking's off. Hey,
Oh.
I'm rolling up and down the screen. Fix the tracking there. Oh man, that's making me seasick for a second.
Are you okay?
I'm good.
You've been in that
good.
box for a long time,
yeah.
dude. You had a lot of dust. There was like fucking old like pine needles on you from like 2004.
It's musty, but the pine needles, they kind of help save it. So
yeah, it's a nice smell. It's a nice energy. Well, you know what? I got it. Speaking of which, I got to put you back in storage because this year for Christmas, I'm going through all of my old Christmas stuff. I just started with yours because you're the most nostalgic one I remember coming back to, but I got to get to the others. I got to get another rum and eggnog. But you know what? It was great to have you on Goat on a Stick. Thank you for joining me. And
all right. Yeah, good to see some sunlight every now and then. So thanks for taking me out of the box.
Dude, you're welcome. It was my pleasure, man. It was great talking to you. And I can't wait to see what you come out with next. Just keep doing it. It's so cool to see how much success you've had in such a short period of time, and it's well earned. It's really funny stuff. I'm a big fan. So take care, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here.
Yep, for sure. Let me just eject you and put you back into the void.
Oh, the tape, it's pinching. Ooh.
All right. There we go. Okay, well, thanks to Goat on a Stick for coming on. That was great. Learned a lot. I hope you did too. If you're interested in Ebsynth, go out and do it. Sounds like a lot of people are interested in watching it. I know I am. There's a huge market out there that Joel has tapped into and has allowed so many other creators into, which is so great. Goat on a Stick is one of them. He's so funny. It seems like I was sure going into that interview that he had some sort of like writing experience or he was already doing at least animation, but it's just crazy to see that, he just hadn't even started trying it before and has gotten such a good following and made such good content since April. So, that was great. I wish him the best of luck, and I appreciate you guys watching. This has been No Star Power. We've been chugging along. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and other holidays. Happy Hanukkah. I know that's past, but you got to represent everybody. Okay. Love ya. Take care. Keep an eye out for more sketches later in the week. I post a sketch at the end of every week, whether it's Thursday, Friday, sometimes Wednesday, the second half of Wednesday. And then there's always a podcast earlier in the week, usually Tuesday. So check it out, guys. I appreciate you watching. Love ya. This is Ben Ball with No Star Power. Good night. I'm going to do my little good night. Hey. That should be my send-off. Been working on a send-off since I started. All right. Good night. All right. Okay. Amazing.